Monday, 7:28 a.m.
Okay, now this video is being made on March 3rd, 2014. My name is Leslie Williams and I am in San Diego County, San Diego, California. I am a target, victim, and activist concerned in the criminal expeditions of what is known as organized stalking, which can also be termed as gang stalking. Title this YouTube video by the date it's uploaded at the beginning of the title, and then Learning Disabled Woman Exposes Motivations and Methods of Gang Stalking. Now, the reason why I'm making this particular video is to explain to the public at large and to my fellow targeted individuals some of the methodologies of gang stalking and some of the motivations behind them. Some of the motivations behind these expeditions, organized stalking and gang stalking, is nothing but organized crime in the system that operates at the federal, state, and local level. They use their employment descriptions, white and blue-collar workers, in order to expedite their crimes and then use the same employment descriptions to protect them. They are also connected to other individuals out and about within the community that have white and blue-collar employment descriptions, like cable installers, utility personnel, landlords, property owners, even certain post employees. Okay, these individuals even have the power position to influence bank managers. So make no mistake about this. This is organized crime in the system. I have literally been subjected to organized stalking, gang stalking, harassment techniques inside of social security buildings by their employees and security guards in 3 separate states: Michigan, Connecticut, and California. Now, the only way that could happen is that if there was some type of federal involvement in this. Social services workers can also be involved in organized stalking and gang stalking expeditions. That's right, because their employment descriptions are used to aid and abet in the destruction of the target individual's life, their ability to be able to take care of themselves because of how their finances are manipulated and used as a eventual steering mechanism to steer the target physically to places that can be either controlled and or manipulated in some way. Like, for instance, if they take a target individual off of Social Security, eventually that target individual is going to run out of savings, while they're working on the target individual from the social services angle. This is where the social services workers can come into play at, by developing ways to make it appear that they have a legitimate apparent reason to take the target off of the benefits they're currently already on, or by not allowing them to have benefits. The whole goal at the end of the day is to literally create extreme poverty to the point to where the target individual is not even eligible for a food stamp card. Now, the reason why they're doing this is many pertaining to the multiple motivations they can have for one target individual, human trafficking being one of them. They literally attempted to keep me off of social services using 2 different techniques. They were caught in both on audio file, while gang stalking was being caught on video and audio while I was in the social services buildings, literally. Now, the reason why I'm making this particular video is to explain to you, maybe even state a couple variables. I'm going to talk fast in this video because I only got about 29 minutes left on this particular video card. So just please, if you feel inclined to research all the descriptions that I describe in this YouTube video, you might want to watch it more than once in order to be able to go back to meticulously listen to everything I say, write it down, and then cross-reference the descriptions to research at Google and YouTube, and you will see that I'm telling you the truth. Now, getting landlords and property owners on board in these expeditions by using employment descriptions to solicit the cooperation of the landlords and property owners by the perpetrators. These individuals can either pretend to be law enforcement at the federal, state, or local level, or are law enforcement at the state, federal, or local level, in order to either influence the property owner and landlord through lies, slander, fake, bogus criminal investigation files about the target, or bribery, intimidation. At the end of the day, collusion is obtained in order to be able to surveil the target at the target's apartment complex, to harass the target to death until the target just gives up and moves, including breaking and entering, staged events, staged complaints, staged accusations, anything and everything that they can do to either motivate the target individual to move on their own, by breaking into their home, even poisoning their food and their water. All these things can be Googled, and you will see that I'm telling you the truth, literally. Okay? And if they feel, and then what they'll do is basically put a cherry on the cake by after the target's individual has been subjected to non-stop harassment in the apartment complex, multiple break-ins, even possibly poisoning the food or the drinks of an alcoholic, you know, a food that is in their own refrigerator. Basically what they do is potentiate frustration, anger, bitterness, and fear concerning where the target individual is living at by using these harassment techniques and breaking and entering and fear techniques of poisoning the food, assaults, even entering the target individual's apartment when the target is sleeping and leaving calling cards. As a result, the target's going to wake up and notice them, and they're going to feel fearful about what could happen to them if these individuals are breaking into their apartment even while they're sleeping. This is done to to work together with the already potentially created and reinforced anger, hate, and fear and resentment that the target individual is experiencing because of all the other methodologies that are brought about against them in the apartment complex. And when they feel that the target is potentiated enough, okay, frustrated enough, then they will put the icing on the cake, you know, the cherry on the cake, by creating one last huge event that might be used to evict the target or to literally completely motivate the target to move right away. And if that don't work, they will literally also include or use the mail theft and mail delayment of the rent. And this is done to create the homelessness. They will also use city inspectors, okay, as a vehicle and an avenue to create the homelessness by claiming that the apartment is uninhabitable after some type of sabotage of the apartment's structure of their apartment, like the ceiling or the floor. Now, what we got to understand here is that all of this is achieved through either bribery, collusion, well, it's definitely collusion, bribery, intimidation, fear, or slander. Okay? Now, when we look at these kinds of criminal expeditions, what I'm going to do, I got to do something here for a fast second. So while I'm doing it, I got to turn the video camera away while I'm doing it. So while I'm doing it, I'm going to play you the audio file of some individuals harassing me on the sidewalk right up the street from UCSD on Thanksgiving Day 2013. Do you hear these guys say gang stalk, gang stalking, and gang of stalking? I'm going to F you up. You be the judge. Okay, sorry about that. Now, the reason why I played that entire length of that particular audio file is because I had to do something. Now, one of the ways that they let the targeted individual know that they're being gang stalked, because a huge technique that is used against organized stalking and gang stalking targeted individual is basically to just harass them on a daily basis everywhere they go. Okay, before, during, and after the homelessness is created. And this is done because if you had any idea what it's like to be homeless, okay, even if you got money, it's very, very exhausting, because especially when you're a victim of this type of crime that is still continuing towards you even after the homelessness is created, because of the staged events that they bring about against the targeted individual, the intentional anchored threats that they make sure the targeted individual hears concerning how they're going to get beat up, or how their property will be stolen, how it will be damaged. Okay, look at what they did to my tent on the 27th of February 2013. Do you see these are like stitches, I don't know how well you can see because of the light right now, of bread ties, because they came down up in here and sliced this tent open, okay, on the 27th when I went and did my laundry, okay? That's right. Now, I just made a video of this tent 2 days before, and I even made a video of it the day I went and did my laundry, but that morning I had already put the black flap in front of the tent that folds down on the front of the tent and covers it. So on that particular morning, I didn't show the front of the tent because taking a video picture of it was thought of by me at the very last second. And the reason why I did that was because it was raining out that day. We're in the middle of a drought right now in California, and it's only rained about maybe 3 or 4 times in 1 year. Okay, so we're in the middle of a drought. And so the only reason why I stopped to make a picture of my tent again was because I thought to myself, well, they might come down here and do something to it while I'm gone today while it's raining. And then I took a fast video picture of it after I put the flap down in front of it, because taking the video picture of it wasn't thought of until right before I was literally ready to pick up my backpack and my laundry to leave. It's just like something came into my mind, and I said I better take a video picture just because it's raining, it might do something. So the black weatherization sheets that cover the front of the tent were already put down in front of the tent by me before I took the video picture. Now this is how it looks on the inside as a result of what they did, okay? And these are the bread ties right here that I had to tie it up with. Just produce ties is what they are. Now the reason why I decided to show you this is because what they basically want to do in organized stalking and gang stalking is that, see, cyber surveillance is a method of organized stalking and gang stalking. So these criminal whores, they know that I know the kind of crap that they're involved in, because they literally tried to do it to me in another state. Organized crime, or organized stalking and gang stalking is happening in every state in the United States. And when the target individual moves from one state to another state, the syndicate that was in the state the target was in will pay off the syndicate in the state the target's going into to take over in the campaign. And since they're involved in the same criminal motivations, and that they operate on the same methods, tactics, maneuvers, and schemes to bring about the motivations, then their crimes eventually become predictable. Okay? Now, through experience and extreme educated knowledge, I know what these filthy whores are involved in, because not only because of what they tried to do to me in another state, but because of what I witnessed them do to other women and young men before my eyes, and literally because of the educated knowledge of what I have read concerning other organized stalking or gang stalking targets. In fact, you can go to Google right now and type in the following way that I describe it. It is as follows. Type in at Google, gang stalking, space, human trafficking. Okay? Pay close attention to obviously everything that comes up. But pay closer attention to the YouTube channel Protect Your Life Now YouTube videos that come up at Google when you type that in the way that I described. It literally shows you that organized stalking and gang stalking expeditions operate in the same exact identical way as human trafficking operations operate. Now, I witnessed human trafficking before my literal eyes in Michigan, happening to gang stalking targets by the individuals that attempted to do it to me, and also attempted to, in fact they did, they engaged in huge insurance fraud and racketeering of my finances. You would not believe what I know. You would not believe the money that I went through trying to expose this crime and keep myself safe from it. Now, let me just get to the meat and potatoes of the reason why I made this particular video. Oh, and I played this to help you see one of the ways that they let target individuals know they're being gang stalked, which is done to harass them to death. And because just that mild harassment I just played you, along with how they were threatening me while they were saying gang stalking, is because they want you to know that what's happening to you is because of gang stalking. Right now I have in my possession over 800 separate audio files of individuals getting around me on a daily basis and saying gang stalk, gang stalk, gang stalker, gang stalking, gang stalk, gang stalk, gang stalk, oh my god, we're crazy, gang stalk, in that way. Okay? Except after this Thanksgiving event occurred, they have backed off from doing that and are now going back to using specific types of physical gestures and vile statements that they say around me concerning me along my routes. That's right. Now, these are sensitization methods. Go to Google and YouTube and type in organized stalking or gang stalking, repeating words and phrases. Physical gestures. That's right. Now, because the whole goal for them is to form mental associations in your mind, okay, through clever techniques, okay, and then once these mental associations are anchored in your mind, they are then represented along all your routes everywhere you go, non-stop. Non-stop. And that's done to make sure that your thinking is always brought to their attention concerning what they're doing to you. Just using mostly, I'd say at least 85% of the individuals who are harassing a target individual are usually nothing but dupe community members. Individuals who have been solicited to do it by individuals in the system. Like, say if a person gets arrested for a ticket, okay, that probation officer, like a DUI or whatever, that probation officer will say, look, here's a picture of an individual, and they'll tell them creative types of lies, and they'll say about the target, and then they'll say, we need you to be at this place today, you know, you got a cell phone, give me your cell phone number, and they'll say, stay in the neighborhood today, and then they'll say, this is the video picture of the person, I want you to do this specific things towards them, okay, when you're needed to today. That's right. It's parole officers are involved in gang stalking, probation officers, church groups, fraternities, sororities. Whether they realize what they're doing or not is gang stalking or not. They are told what to do and where to be at and how to do it. And how to act and what not to do and what not to say. Okay, and what to say. And since the individuals who are managing this shit tell everybody that they use to do specific things towards the target individual, every person they use is told to do the same exact identical thing. that makes the target individual experience the same mental harassment every day, everywhere they go. Even though 5 people they use towards the target individual that morning who are doing the same thing they're told to do, each one isn't even aware that, like when, like say if I went to SDSU, okay, and experienced it by 10 people there, when I left SDSU and say went to Fashion Valley Mall and experienced it by 10 or 5 other people there, those 10 or 5 other people wouldn't even know that I was harassed by people at SDSU. That's right, because they're only told so much. But since each group of people did the same exact thing towards me, that makes the target individual believe that they're being ganged upon and stalked as a result, because they got to know where you're at and who you are to do it. With me, they've been getting around me and all of my routes and repeating these aforementioned words and phrases and specific physical gestures everywhere I go every single day. And that is their way to mentally harass you, okay? To aid and abet in causing a mental collapse, mental deterioration, while the target individual is trying to and attempt to survive the homelessness, which causes mental duress, physical duress, physiological duress, financial duress. That's right. Now, let me get to the meat and potatoes of this particular video. Hold on a second. I gotta hurry up and wrap this up. See, in organized stalking and gang stalking of a targeted individual like me who knows that they're after syndicated probate control so they can use me as a straw person, and by taking syndicated probate control of me, by claiming that I'm mentally ill because I'm claiming I'm being stalked by people that I don't know. Okay, that's one of the avenues they use, because they also stage events against targeted individuals, and when they stage, they're called street theaters, and when they stage an event, they will also stage the witnesses. That's right, including even using the business community. I've literally been gang stalked in 3 different bank, my bank, you know, the type of bank I got. That's right. That's right, by management and employees and people coming in and acting as customers, and you better believe they'll deny it. You better believe they will. Of course they will. Do you really think they'll tell the truth? Of course not. Now, let me just get to the meat and potatoes. The syndicated probate control is achieved by, but not limited to, falsified incident reports, police reports, falsified doctor information, because they will stage an event, have the police come out, a syndicated cop, because it's a staged event, so he or she is waiting to come out to play their role in the event. The targeted individual, by the time the police arrive, will be so angry and frustrated, they will say, look, I know that this is happening because of gang stalking, and I need you to make a police report. The police will act like they don't know what gang stalking is. They'll bait you to open up and talk about it, and then you tell them, and then they say, well, that sounds crazy and delusional. Are you crazy or delusional? And they might even go as far as petitioning you into county mental health or an area neighborhood hospital psychiatric for. This is done for the insurance fraud and to start accumulating documentation, falsified documentation about the target's mental stability. That's right, because they got to justify the billing of the insurance, and because these staged events happen over time. Okay, anywhere they'll string them out for 5 years. That's right, so that way the probate courts can say, we got a long mental history of you while you're homeless for this long period of time, because they keep the homelessness covertly managed. Okay, they covertly create it and then keep it covertly managed, using social services reports about your living situation, the incident reports concerning what happens to you at your hiking area. They'll create an event at your hiking area and then make a police report about you being homeless, and then they'll even state, we offered her services but she wouldn't take them, even though that if a syndicated cop comes to any of my hiking areas, yeah, he'll offer me services, all right, like through the San Diego Homeless Rescue Mission or a church that they can influence or are connected to. I take the bait, I go there. As a result of them offering me these services, I go there, they make it look all attractive and normal appearing to get me to sign the papers. And then the gang stalking starts of me there, and that is designed to motivate me to move from there, so I can chase peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much more peace would I have living in a house with 15 people who have all been bought, who half of them have been bought off to harass me using gang stalking methods, okay? Or would I have more peace hiking on my own? They know that a targeted individual, after being gang stalked for even just 6 months in a row, will want to leave the situation. That's how they motivate a target to move from apartment to apartment to apartment to apartment, to motel room to motel room. The whole goal is to frustrate the hell out of the target so the target runs. That way the police can turn around and then run across them at a later date at another hiking area and say, well, didn't we offer you services? Targeted individual who might not have a full understanding yet of how this shit operates will say, well, yeah, but I was gang stalked through there. The police officer will then say, well, now what do you think now? That the homeless place is involved in the gang stalking of you? And file another incident report about you. That way, these accumulated doctor reports, social services reports, and police report can be used for the eventual syndicated probate control to put the targeted individual in a syndicated run organized crime group home. So their monthly finances can be co-opted legally. So their insurance can be exploited, because the gang stalking will continue in these homes because they're literally owned by organized crime groups who are engaged in the gang stalking. This is why the homelessness was created to begin with. And they will even bait the target to call the police by slashing up their tent, or stealing their property, or having a homeless bum assault the target individual right by their hiking area, believing that that will bait the target to call the police. They'll even, like what they did on January 30th, 2014, they had a homeless guy assault me. Then they knew that I was gonna watch where this guy went, because all of the other homeless people that they have used to gang stalk me in the same area. So they just believed that I would watch where this guy went, call the police, say he's over there, he went in this area. They go down there and get him. He denies he assaulted me. Then he turns around and says she's crazy. She even harasses my friends that are hiking 100 feet away from her. Yeah. Now, the individuals that played a role in this Thanksgiving event that you heard say gang stalking, and gang-a-stalking, I'm going to F you up, are they directly connected to a worded coded hiking area? Yes. That word code is GILL times 2. I'm a woman, not a man, HA location. And the individual who assaulted me, and the one main guy of that particular hiking location, okay, has harassed me on anywhere between 8 and 11 separate occasions. The individual that is, and you heard them harass me and threaten to assault me as they're saying gang stalking. Okay? Now, the individual who assaulted me on January 30th, 2014 was seen by me talking to this main guy on 2 separate occasions, and he's harassed me on 2 other occasions besides those 2 occasions. That's right. All 4 occasions he engaged in organized stalking, gang stalking, sensitization techniques. Now the whole goal is to do something so detrimental that you will just be so pissed off about, like an assault or theft of your property or the damage of your property, that you will be so pissed off because you knew they were involved in it, that you will call the police. They will even use the target's own general psychology and personal psychology. Because think about this. If your daughter or your son are walking up the street and a homeless person attacks them, and then your son or daughter sees where that homeless person went, do you honestly think that teenager, okay, is not going to get on the phone and say, I just got assaulted by a guy and I seen where he went? Of course he will. Of course he will. Now think about this happening to a person who is being gang stalked along all their routes and harassed along all their routes every single day, non-stop, by individuals who are harassing them in the same exact identical way. They then leave all those environments and ride their bike to go home, and then an individual who has harassed them using the same exact identical techniques on 4 separate occasions gets along their route and then assaults them, and then lets them see where they're going. This is designed to bait the target to call the police, so the police can come out. Target individual points to where they went to. They go down there and act like they're getting them. He comes out and says, I didn't assault the bitch, she's crazy. And plus, she's also harassing my friends that are hiking 100 feet away from her. He is used to point out to where the target lives, so that the police can make that falsified incident report and then evict the target from the area, even supposedly offer them services they can go to, while they might even bring the individuals they set up 100 feet away who have gang stalked the hell out of me. Do you see how this operates? Hold on a second. Alright, so I gotta shut this video down right now because I'm almost out of video time. Please look in the description of this YouTube. Just go to YouTube and Google and type in learning disabled woman being gang stalked in San Diego. Learning disabled woman exposes evidence of being gang stalked. Learning disabled woman brutally assaulted on an MTS bus. Make sure you look in the descriptions extensively, meticulously, and thoroughly pertaining to everything that is in the description of all the YouTube videos that you bring up. I have 800 audio files of individuals getting around me on a daily basis saying gang stalk, gang stalker, gang stalk, gang stalk, gang stalk, gang stalk. Oh my god, we're crazy. That's right. Audio files do not lie. It's their way to let me know I'm being gang stalked. So let's see if they screw around with any of my property, my tent, or my clothes. That's right, or assault me again along any of my routes. I do appreciate listening, and have a nice day.